is, but I'm going to try to narrate, and I want to shoot to keep this under 5 minutes so you don't have to waste a bunch of your time. Basically, I don't know if I've got a good view of what's here. I'll take a picture of it after. But we've got our, I don't even think this is real leather. It's just something I grabbed from downstairs, some leftover stuff. This is our Simon. Hole punch, side cut dikes, center punch, auto. Once you push down on it, it's got a little spring mechanism in there that'll just do a little punch on it. This is our, for all intents and purposes, the back of our helmet where you're going to put your strap. This is a electro galvanized roofing nail. They're steel. I like galvanized because they're less prone to rusting. But that's it right there. And then I've got a 3mm washer. I get these on Amazon in like a 50 or 100 pack for like $2. If you go get one at your hardware store, they're only like 20 cents, but if you need to get a lot for a big project, that adds up real fast. So I just try to keep some on hand for all the repairs and stuff. Then you need drill bits. The ones I'm using are actually titanium coated. It's just supposed to make them last longer for normal like use. Steel, not hardened per se. And they'll still work. You can even get like a normal drill bit because steel on steel. I got these other ones that I've used. They're cobalt steel. These are like $60 or $70 for a kit. The titanium, you're looking at like 30 to 50. You really don't need those. Just find any kind of bit that says it's good to go for steel. It'll probably show like an I-beam or something. The choice for the size, I've got a 5/32 bit here. I usually try to use a close size that's got 2 bits. That way if I have one fail, I have a backup. But for, I don't know how this is looking on the camera, but for the size, I just make sure it's equal to or slightly larger than the size of what's passing through. If it eclipses, we're good. Or if I can see a little bit on either side of it on the back side, it's good. But and I think the roofing nails are a pretty standard size. I've got a different brand here, even like some 2-inch ones for bigger stuff. And I think, just for reference, see here, but yeah, that's still going to be about the same size. So I think it's just a standard size for roofing nails. Industry standard, I think, is the descriptor. I've got my old handy dandy DeWalt 2 bars. This is the gearing thing that I had mentioned. This toggles it between low speed, second gear, high speed, low gear's a little slower, and we'll be using the low gear while we drill. So this is the 3-in-1 cutting oil. I thought it was 10-in-1, but it's actually like a type of motor oil. But if you look at what it can be used for, you can use it for pneumatics, but I've used it for cutting all my drill stuff. It smokes a little bit, but it's fine. And when you're doing low speeds, you just need a lubricant in there so it doesn't get too hot. Gloves for safety, which I probably will only wear on my left so I don't cut my hand on this metal, because I had cut this off of, I think this was off of my arms. I don't really remember. Cut it off of something. Let's see. This might have been off the backside of my wife's Bazubans or the backside of my greaves. I don't really know. But anyway, I didn't clean up the edges, so just for my hand's sake. Getting down to it. Also, small ball peen from Walmart, Hyper Tough. I think these are like $5. A small sledge, 2.5 pounds. I just took like a grinder to smooth the side out, and I made a dimple for rivets. Honestly, I'm just using this. I have an anvil right here, but I'm going to use this for the sake of showing you that you don't need an anvil. This can be a nice little portable anvil. You just use it as it's called a buck bar or a backer. You would hold it on the inside if you were doing like the inside of your helmet and doing the peen on the outside, which you might want to do. But then you can just hold it and then you just get it started. But then after that, you can just rest on the bench or whatever and then peen away. Or in this case, what we'll be doing, I'll lay it flat. This is going to be the outside of your helmet, which you'll lay because the weight of the helmet will keep it in place. Maybe you grab the visor, you have your visor up, I forget what you've got, but this will be passing through. And then you'll be doing the peening on the inside. You don't need to do big swings. You just need to do rapid little tappies, and I'll show you that later. But so yeah, that's what we've got. Hammers, side cut dikes. These are also from Walmart. I got these specific ones because they're double jointed. The whole point, they were never meant to last forever. I think these were like 15 bucks instead of like the 8 or 9. The double joint, see how it slides? It's lower effort to cut. So like normal dikes, you have to squeeze a lot more. With these, I just slip it down into the little crotch, and then it's got 2 joints, so it distributes the workload. It's just easier cuts. I'm old, I get weak hands. And then I have a leather punch, just Harbor Freight special. Set on whatever, because this doesn't matter. So yeah, so getting started. First we measure. What I would probably do, I don't have one of the helmets near me. I would probably not do it at the very bottom. I'd probably put it up about an inch or so. As you're looking at your helmet, you may notice on the inside that you've got your comfort lining or padding, and it might be in the way. Maybe like just a good rule of thumb for you to remember, go up about a finger's length, or just see if you have a spot where you can get in and work inside that padding. If you can separate that comfort liner, and if you've got padding, just cut some of that padding out with a little, one of these guys. They're like 50 cents or $1 anywhere, just a little throwaway. Just get in there and cut it out. It'll be fine. But try not to cut your comfort liner because it's gonna fray. Try to go up high enough that you're working in a spot around it. So you'll then take your helmet and well, just ignore that mark. But we're gonna go ahead and pretend it's only about an inch up, and we're gonna make a little dot. I don't know. And you can do this on any solid surface. I'm just doing it over here for convenience. But you just get yourself on the center of your where you're gonna go, push down, and that little click, and you'll see that it kind of took away, but it made a little dimple, and that's to help keep your drill bit from walking around when you start moving. It keeps it right where it needs to be while you're drilling. So that's done. I'm gonna go ahead and prep our strap. We'll leave a little bit on the end up there. Well, no we won't. We'll do it like we're gonna proper do it. Hole. Nail passes through hole. Ideally, I guess on that note, you want to size it. I usually slip them. Oh, I guess that is the right hole. I'll usually kind of poke until I find the hole that fits neatly. Like that one's way too loose. These ones are obviously going to be too small. I probably could have got away with using this since it's leather, it stretches and keeps it snug. If you go too big, what will end up happening is the leather can just stretch and pass right over that head, even though it's pretty good size. So, but yeah. So now this is our, yeah. All right. Cutting oil. All you need is 1 drop. I won't even go over to the anvil, even though it's more convenient working for me. You just do 1 little drop of oil, just a little glob there. Actually, I'm going to set this over there for a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. Got to load up our drill bit. And then the trick to this, I did some metalworking in school and stuff, but you just find a hard surface, a table or whatever, which if it's your helmet, you'll just hug it, and you can even just put your shoulder on it or your face or just lean on it, whatever, but it shouldn't have any binding or anything. And then you just get yourself in that, you'll feel it fall in that little dimple, and then you just start going. And I'm going to use 2 hands so I can lean my chest on it. I don't know if you can see it starting to shave, making a nice little curl. There. See, your helmet's gonna work it from either side. I think it's better to just pass it through. Put your strap in. And then your next step is to slip your washer down. And then if you have a surface that you can make sure that that's laying flat on, you can do it that way. Or if you just feel more comfortable putting your finger on it, you grab your side cuts, you open them, you put it in the crotch as tight as possible, you slide it down, and then you don't have to worry about placement because I'll show you why in a second. But you give this a nice little squeeze. I'm just doing it over here for some easy disposal. And I keep pressure on it to make sure my washer doesn't fall. The reason you don't have to worry about the placement, I don't know if you can tell in this angle, but there's a little bit of a groove. And so what it does is when you do that, the bevel, contour, and that groove makes it so that when you clip that off, that it's right where it needs to be. So you can see there's not a lot sticking up, but that leather is going to flatten out when we start hitting it, and then that's going to smash over. You can see there's just a tiny little shoulder on there. If you have issues with getting this to stay in place, you can use masking tape on the backside, which I'll demonstrate real quick for you. It's just nice because if you need an extra set of hands, I might have all my masking tape in the house actually for shields and stuff. This will work. This is painter's tape, same thing. It's just not as wide as I'd prefer. And this comes off real easy. That's why it's nice to. But you just do that. Again, this is the outside of your helmet, and then it's also cold in the garage right now. It's like 26 degrees because I didn't turn the heater on over there and prep the area, and it's just literally garage. So my wife parks in here, so she's at work right now. But you get the point. Once I warm that up, the sticky does what it's supposed to with my fingers and some friction. But that just holds it for you if you just need an extra set of hands and no one's around or whatever. But then you put that back on, put your washer over that. Now, there's also no harm in if you go, I don't know, that doesn't seem like I have the finesse to work that. You can leave it a little longer. It's not going to hurt anything. But then all you got to do is lay it down. Don't hit your fingers. And once you get a couple smacks, this isn't the best surface because this is a foam, so it's going to cause it to bounce a little. But once you get a couple smacks on this, you can see it's already staying in place because I laid that corner and that corner over. Those are my first targets, and you see this is just not even, it's whatever. But then at that point, you've got your helmet, and then you just, the peen just does a lot of work. I'm not even doing this hard. You see I'm not choked up high on it grip. I've got 2 fingers on it, and all you have to do is just hit in circles around it in the center, working your way around. You don't even have to change your angle if you don't want to. And as you hit the center, it smashes out. And as you move around, it just proceeds to mushroom. And so I guess the way that would work for you is you'd have your helmet like so. You just stand yourself offline from the helmet, maybe hug your helmet like so it's not moving around, and you make sure it's on a hard bench. And then you would just do the same thing. You just stick it in here, but you've got enough room inside here where your head is to just peen. And again, the weight of the helmet makes it easier because it lays. But that's your buck bar. You peen, and when you're done, I always give it a rub to make sure there's no hard edges because we don't want it snagging or cutting. Some people like to give it a couple flat smacks to smooth it out. Now you got your Simon strap installed. Once this goes on your head, whatever. And then as far as placement goes, you just get someone. Most people have one of these with them. But if you're not sure, come down like 6 to 8 inches or whatever it is. Punch like 3 holes, about 1 inch apart or 3/4 of an inch. But then now you at least have some holes. And you might end up having it too high or too short. That's why I said just have someone give you a hand with it. And then the tape has done its